Okay, now we're going to talk about the physics of forbidden love. And you can see my annotation at the top is the same as it was for school days. What makes this a well-told story? Well, right away, the first thing that I want to talk about is the first sentence. You can blame it all on Percocet. It's a great first sentence because organizationally, it grabs my attention right away. I'm thinking, what? What can you blame on the Percocet? So that's the smart use of that pronoun it. Blame what? And so again, I want to keep reading and I want to know. And then the next sentence, I was 3 days post-hysterectomy and a little loopy on painkillers. You still don't really know what's going on yet. You're still a little off balance as a reader. And I think that Malcolm did that on purpose. And then you get more details after 5 years of weekly testosterone injections, the canal, and then you're confused, but you're also starting to understand. Okay, and that is what makes the intro such a good one, is because right away you're trying to figure out what's going on and what he's talking about, and then you understand, oh, okay, he's just had gender reassignment surgery, and so now I understand kind of what's going on. The third paragraph, I love the word lucidity. It's such a good word. And then, of course, the rambling letter. So your first anecdote of this is the rambling letter. And it's a nice contrast. You can see my annotation on the left side of the screen. So I decided to send her a quick message. I ended up writing her a rambling letter. That's funny. That is a contrast. He meant just to write something quick. And of course, he's high on Percocet, so he's incapable of doing that. And then the first thing he says, hey, I began, you have cow eyes. And you can see that I have a text-to-text connection there because Sarah actually says that about Adnan, if you remember, in one of the episodes of Serial. So how interesting that we had two references to people having cow eyes. Is just an odd thing. And then both Sarah and Malcolm using it. Now, I will tell you that in the next paragraph, so that is paragraph 7, after ruminating, that word choice is fantastic because he was just talking about cows, and cows have a rumen, and that's where they kind of ferment the grass and digest it. And so how funny that after ruminating for another paragraph about cows, to me, I just thought that was so funny. Really well done on the word choice. Okay, and then of course it's funny because he admits to you that he sent it to himself and not to her. And it's probably good that he didn't resend it and then just told her about it later. Okay, so then you get to the part about where you learn more about his background with being transgender and when he transitioned at 15. So then he realizes, okay, I'm going to have to actually tell her about this. And then, so you're at the bottom, paragraph 14. And so what I want you to notice, and you can read my annotations here, there's no dialogue in this part that makes this scene more active. This is obviously a choice that Malcolm made when he wrote this. And so you can see that my guesses on why. I said he's distancing himself from the words. The medical explanation is in itself distancing. So by backing up and choosing to explain this to her, since she's pre-med in a medical way, is distancing the personal out of it. And so, and I think that he also is not including dialogue because I think that we all can imagine how scary this must have been for the first time he's ever telling someone he wants to date about this, that this is a big deal. And so to not include the dialogue is, I think, helping you understand the gravity of the risk he's taking. So there's a lot, I wrote full of fear. Is that why he controlled this part through narration? I think so. I think this is why he backed out of it and is not giving us dialogue. And that makes it all the more poignant when he's waiting for her reaction. And then the reaction is in dialogue. Taking my hand, she said, I had no idea. Right? You feel the flood of relief because at that moment you were holding your breath. What is she going to say? And so again, to have that be the dialogue was really poignant after all the distancing and just strict narration before that. Okay, there's some good word choices in here. My favorite is in, let's see, I have them numbered on my other sheet. It's the paragraph that starts with my Midwest accent. It's paragraph 22. Ratty Packer sweater and frozen tilapia complexion. Oh, I love that part. What a great adjective to modify complexion. Oh, that was so good. So that's where you're, of course, learning that he is the antithesis of the son-in-law that his girlfriend's family would want. Now look at the sentence fluency at the end of the paragraph 23. A more painful breakup later on seemed inevitable, so we agreed to stop seeing each other. I hoped that the rationality of the decision would offer comfort, period. It didn't. Period. That sentence fluency, that short little sentence at the end, speaks volumes for how he's feeling about that moment. All right, and then you get some nice details about how he came for the title, The Physics of Forbidden Love, opposites doing what opposites do, and the whole idea of them sliding back together. So then you can obviously see their relationship is getting back together. Okay, and then again, look at the next time dialogue is included, where it says, you're looking at paragraph 28. She was unfazed by my transness. I exulted in this. It seemed as though I had finally cleared the last hurdle between me and the mundane heterosexual existence I had yearned for. So again, he's longing for boring here, and you feel that, and you can see that the transness is a non-issue. So he is so excited about that. And so she says, I must have had great karma to be human in this life. And he's thinking, what? It couldn't have been that good, I said, or I wouldn't have wound up in a girl's body. Now, choosing to put the dialogue in there, I think, is a build-up to what she says in response. She rolled her eyes. It's not a girl's body, period. It's yours. Again, super poignant. I think that's why the dialogue of that moment is included. Okay, some nice comparing and contrasting here about their backgrounds. You start to understand why they feel like opposites. He makes a cultural mistake where he doesn't understand the elephant. Again, all of that's filling in how different they are. But then the last two paragraphs is what's building up to the so what. You have the reference to the current time period where he says, as animosity toward brown-skinned immigrants seemed to worsen daily in this political climate, and anti-transgender bills that strip me of my dignity draw closer to becoming law in the Texas legislature, there are days where we wake up scared, go to bed scared, and navigate our isolation in between. There is, like, in this crazy world, he's saying there's something that we can hold on to. We love each other. We feel safe together. And then, of course, the so what? In a time of such upheaval and uncertainty, our reckless, quiet love feels like deliverance. And what a lovely ending. And that is what matters. What matters about this whole opposites attract thing, the physics of forbidden love, is that there's safety and comfort, and he calls it deliverance at the very end. So that is showing their similarities as well. So in a paragraph or a page of contrast, you have the end of what brings them together, which makes a very satisfying, nice organizational ending for the so what.